Did it.
Did it, buddy.
Only 35 minutes late.
We finally wrangled it all together. Derek Seguin in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Forgot his memory
Brought
card.
in rock bottom fucking Quebec.
Quebec.
Wait, you're Roxborough, eh? Roxborough?
Yeah, Roxborough. Don't tell everyone my address, though.
You
can't have 7 people knocking on the door. All those 7 listeners that you're always saying we have. We're good, man. We've got a good thing going now.
We're on the new
our
network.
first full week. Yeah, on
We're
the network.
The Comedy Here Often network.
I'm very excited. They launched this week, last week, and now this is our first full week on there, man. Second episode. Man. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. I'm happy about it. How are you, man? You're in Ottawa. You're doing shows.
Yeah.
What's that friggin' like?
I did it already once since COVID started. I did it in July.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it's still the same setup. I mean, Yuck Yucks, I have to commend them. They're doing an incredible job.
Yeah, they look
with
like they are.
Taking the safety and security measures very, very seriously.
Yeah.
Although the bathrooms could still be a little bit cleaner. But I guess maybe they read a study where having... Like all those germs, no COVID couldn't survive in that bathroom because the long.
The other germs will fight them off. Yeah.
Yeah, the long-standing germs that have been there for 35 years are fucking keeping control of that environment.
It's just like a gang neighborhood of germs, and just like you're not going to survive here, buddy.
COVID, you don't stand a chance.
It's new
but no, like the showroom, it's so you've got fucking a big 4-liter jug of hand sanitizer on the way in. The server are all wearing masks and visors.
Yeah.
We, the performer, are behind like a little plexiglass fucking fish tank looking thing.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures.
The joke that I came up with, so the plexiglass goes down about to my waist, right? It's all surrounds me, but to my waist. And I'm like, you know what? This club, fucking for the 10 years I've been coming here, really... If you're going to put up plexiglass, if you're afraid to catch something from Derek Seguin, it's from the waist down that you should be afraid. That's where the plexiglass should be. But I guess everyone's really afraid of this one thing right now that we're forgetting about all the other shit you could catch from me.
That's hilarious. They should add maybe the Late Show. They'll add a second plexiglass a little lower for the Late Show.
More than plexiglass, yeah, like fucking
extra dirty Late Show.
Tarp.
We've added a second layer of plexiglass for Derek Seguin. He gets wild after 7:30 at night.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's weird. It's thankfully it's November, right? So it gets dark earlier.
Yeah.
But 7:00 showtime is still, it's pretty early. Like we're done. I'm done by 8:30.
Yeah,
that leaves a lot of drinking time.
Yeah, well, you know what? At least, it gives you some time to just go relax after. You don't finish late and have to look for a Boston pizza. There's probably still some stuff open.
No, that's the last call is 9.
Oh, it's true. So everything's
everyone
closed
has
at 9.
to be out by 10.
Wow, jeez. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, I know. It's weird, man. It is weird.
Yeah.
And there's something weird going on in the hotel that I'm in. Like there's a security guard on either end of the floor.
Really?
And I'm like, what is it? Prisoner? They say it's because there's some government dignitaries staying here. That's why there's security. I don't believe them at all. I think that's a load of shit. I think it's prisoners waiting to be fucking transported somewhere.
Oh.
What fucking dignitary would they send to this hotel? Let's see. It's a fucking shithole. This is the next 2-star, the new 2-star review should be.
Got to be some.
Place.
yeah, we should do it at that place. It's probably like a dignitary from a country that we don't. We're not close allies with. Just like one of those countries that we're kind of okay with, but
Kazakhstan or something. Yeah.
Stick them in that shithole
down the hall.
That's funny, man. Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder. Yeah, there must be something because they. I mean, I know they're storing, like they're keeping,
and they're not even good security. They're like
a rental company.
Rental,
yeah. Dude, they're like
24-year-old kid.
They're the ones running everything now. They're running all the all the government. Like even when you go to the weed stores in Quebec, it's like one of those like scrappy security guard, that work at the front door. It's like no more government employees to do that. They can't hire government security. I guess it costs. You'd rather But I don't think it's cheaper because in the end of the day, it's still like what? The guy doing it is
no
making
benefits,
peanuts.
no insurance.
Yeah,
That's all on the other company. It's all, and like when you cut the job, you don't have to give a package. The job is just doesn't exist anymore, and it's not your problem. It is. There's a lot of carrying cost with having employees.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, for me, like when I quit my job to go into show business. In fact, I thought I was going to be an actor, right? So I thought I wanted to be able to manage my own career and things. So I actually started a business where I was doing advertising things on the side, but to free up time so that I could manage my schedule and all that kind of thing. So the government had a wonderful program for entrepreneurs that they gave you free courses.
Okay.
To learn how to do things. So I took some accounting classes in that, and you really start to see. Being an employee of a company that does have a lot of those benefits, like the health and dental and prescription drug and life insurance and all that. The company have to pay for office space and all. So this COVID thing, sending everybody home. There's so many companies. Like I've done corporates in the last month for several companies that I'm doing these shows and I'm going into their employees' houses because they've been sent home since like April or whatever. They've been working from home. And the two last company that I did, they said, we think that 80% of those people are going to remain in those jobs. Their productivity seemed to have gone up.
Yeah.
Their health, happiness, right?
Yeah, for sure. You don't have to sit in traffic anymore.
If you need to take 2 hours off in the middle of the day to go to a parent-teacher interview, that's fine. As long as you get the job done, you finish it after dinner if you want.
Yeah.
But, they're all, the companies seem to realize that they can trust, 90% of their employees can be trusted to get the job done. You know what I mean? And their happiness is better. Their cost of living has gone down, right? The car, wear and tear on the car, repairs, gas.
That's a lot of money.
Dry cleaning, lunch. See, most people you're sensible, you pack a lunch, whatever. But, there's those 2 days a week that you forget or you're late or so you're buying lunch. I think it's a win-win for everybody except across the country, as we've seen, like Montreal, Toronto, Calgary is a great example.
The main cities,
of the developers, right? The real estate developer that have built all these. Like right now in Montreal, there's like 3 office buildings that are being built, and the ones that are already existing are emptying out.
Yeah.
So it's these billionaire venture capitalists, sort of real estate developer, the billionaire people basically, that are going to be like, ooh, Jesus, nobody's renting anything anymore. Everyone's leaving the city core. See?
Yeah, I was thinking about we were talking about it the other day because we tried to just go grab some food, and everywhere we called a place, or like, yeah, it's gonna be like 45 minutes. We're like, what? 45 minutes? And we're on the way home, like driving. I'm like, okay, maybe not there. And then we stopped at like A&W. There's a fucking lineup, all like super long drive-through lineup. The place around the corner that we usually go to, again, super. We were just like, let's just go home and fucking make pasta or something. Yeah, it's something. It'll be so much easier and faster than, but because they're rolling in the suburbs, man. They're rolling. Like the restaurants are. From what I see, I mean, the ones that have takeout, that have their stuff set up on takeout, obviously it sucks the ones that have takeout going, but they have like a huge venue because now you're paying rent for this giant venue. But they're still rolling,
But the government
man.
is offering relief for some of that now.
They're getting help.
They changed it, too. They've extended it now till June of next year.
Oh.
The government aid for these small, medium-sized businesses, specifically restaurants, was talked about in the article I read. And where in the first wave, the aid that they were doing, so like my friend I told you owns a Jukebox Burger. Near you.
Yeah.
So what he had to do was get this form, fill out his part, and then give it to his landlord.
Okay.
So which would be I forget who owns that, Cadillac Fairview or whoever. Say the real estate holding company.
Yeah.
Give it to them, and then they have to fill it out, and they have to file it with the government, and the government in turn sends the landlord 75% of the thing. So the biggest complaint apparently from that first wave was that the landlord wasn't doing it. They don't give a shit. They're going to get their money one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
So they weren't being cool about it. So a lot of landlords were just dicking around. So the tenant, the restaurant, would end up having to pay 1, 2, 3 month extra rent full because the landlord just didn't take the time to file this paperwork.
Yeah.
So in this new wave, the Trudeau government has made it so that now the money is sent directly to the tenant.
Wow.
Now, will there be, I mean, we know, we all have met countless restaurateurs. There are a small group of people in that business that aren't necessarily, you know,
kosher?
they get free money from the government, and it's like, I'm not paying this stupid landlord.
Yeah.
Forget it. I'm going to Hawaii instead.
Yeah.
But I think in the long run, it's gonna be better that way. That the the tenant can he's getting 75% of his rent, but maybe the rent's not due for 2 weeks, but his food order that he desperately need to stay afloat is due today. Take some of the money, pay for that. Like, he's gonna manage his business like he would any. It become a revenue stream.
Yeah.
And hopefully it helps. Some of them. I mean, I can't help but think that without this aid, there would be at least 50% more permanent closure without.
For sure, man. How many people would not be able to afford their rent? Jeez.
And I just hope, though, that the government, they've taken really, I think, good measure to help the average Canadian, right? The regular people that are really, really impacted
not the giant corporations that fucking own everything that you can't even find who they are and who owns it. They're like massed between like 7 different companies.
Right.
Yeah, there's a guy
because some of those will take a hit. Like, there's a building in Calgary called the Bow.
Yeah.
That I think it was a $2 billion real estate development building. It was like, it's the tallest building in the city now. And apparently it's like 75% empty. See, so you've got to imagine that is a lot of money being lost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for
now,
sure.
I just hope that the government doesn't have to bail out all these, developers, in one of the, in the set.
I
in
hope
the way
not,
that they have in the past, that, we can't let GM go bankrupt, so we have to bail them out. That we can't.
It should be,
you can let these venture capitalists start back off at fucking $2 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they can go down. They don't need to take any tax money. But there's it's interesting you said that, because I don't know if you saw, there was remember we talked about like real estate in Montreal now, how it's getting taken over by just these giant companies. Nobody even knows who owns them. There's a guy in Montreal who created an app, and he does all the research on the city website, and he's starting this database. So you can go in the app. If you're looking to rent a place, you can look at who the landlord is. So you can look to rent and avoid renting in places that belong to these huge no-name, like these corporations
venture
that are hiding, just
yeah.
hiding behind who knows what, that are buying up all the real estate and driving up the market. So you can specifically just rent from, let's say you own a building or I own a building, like a regular person that owns a building, or is not like some conglomerate that just buys up all the real estate and now raises the rent. So that's a great. I was trying to find it. I can't remember the name.
Like
of
the
Kushners
of the world there, the Jared
Yeah,
Kushners
exactly.
of the world.
Fucking the
slumlord millionaire.
Yeah, those assholes that just fucking. I can't remember the name of the app, man. But if you look it up online, I'm sure some will find it, or I'll post it in the link underneath. But I saw that. That was a great. The thing I like about Montreal, man, is and Quebec, like you say this a lot, is like the social, like, where it's a province that always likes to fight the man. Like, I find the little people in this province love to fight the man. Like, they like to protest. They like to, whenever we're getting screwed somewhere, they like to do something, and something innovative, something cool. I thought that was such a great idea to develop an app like that people can now have in control in their hands to know who they're giving their money to. You want to rent.
I think it's a historically influenced personality trait. I mean, if a whole people can have a personality trait, because historically, French Canadian, not long ago, 150 or 200 years ago, French Canadian had no rights. We weren't. I can't say that it was as bad as, say, African American in America during slavery and that.
There were some
we
shitty
were not,
things done to them.
We were not allowed to vote. For the longest time, French people, French Canadian, and it was before there was French Canada, because Canada's not that old, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But the French weren't allowed to even own property. The British were the lords of the land, and we worked their land, but we weren't allowed to vote on things, and the first parliament, in fact, of Canada in 1867 was in Montreal. It was right. It was. I used to work right across the street from this historic thing, and it's right. You know where the douane, the big douane building on Beaver Hall Hill or McGill? It's called McGill, I think, down there.
Yeah.
That big monumental kind of right across the street from that. There's a parking lot. That is where the first parliament was built, and the French Canadian who were saying, no, why doesn't anything we care about matter? So they burned parliament to the ground. They're like, we're citizen too, and they burned parliament, and that's when they said, fuck that. We're going to Ottawa where people are a little bit more reasonable, and they go to bed at 8:30.
Not as many matches in Ottawa. People don't have sticks to rub together. But that's it. Is that near the? I should know this, man, but I know that it's I know what you're talking about. It's a parking lot. It's not. There's a bank there. No, like not far. There's the park.
The bank's a little bit up more toward I think Notre Dame.
What's that park on Peel?
It's called.
It's
right
near,
up with the. Oh, on Peel. Oh,
it's not. It's not near Peel.
No, it's down in Old Montreal, in the old port.
Oh, Old Montreal.
So you know the there's that silver bell tower.
Yeah.
And the Banque Nationale.
Yeah.
Whatever. So on the back side of that, there's a street that goes down a hill. It's called Beaver Hall Hill from like Sherbrooke down to
But isn't there a park there also?
And then after Viger, if you go past Viger, then it's called McGill. The street's called McGill. Not McGill College, but McGill.
Yeah.
And you go down there, and then and it goes all the way to De la Commune, which is the one that longe the old port. It's one street up from there, and it's called... It's two one-ways with parking lots in the middle of it.
Okay, and is there
the original Montreal Firehouse is there, which has become the Fire Hall Museum.
But it's not a parking lot. It's a park, right?
No, it's a parking lot.
Oh, is it?
On the corner of McGill and why can't I remember? I used to work on that street. It's called not de la Commune, mais.
It's lower. It's not de la Montagne. It's lower. It's where the highway, like where you wrap around to get onto the highway, right? The 720.
No, even it's more west than that. So it's one main street east of University, or what's now Robert Bourassa.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're. I just don't know the exact corner, but I know where the area.
It's just down further, even from the what is it, the Q? What's the hotel? W. The W.
The W. I don't know.
Hotel?
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
My friend used to work there.
In Montreal?
It's right at the beginning anyway. It's at the westernmost point of where Old Montreal starts.
Okay. Yeah, and there's no building there right now, eh? There's no monument.
It's been a parking lot forever. Maybe
there's no
I
monument
haven't been down there for a while.
There's no
nothing.
historical evidence of the parliament there. They're like, Mark
You learn about it. There's a museum. There's a museum. My memory is so shot. But there's a museum. You know, at De la Commune, there's that triangle-shaped building, and it's split off from De la Commune down at the port. Anyway, in there's a museum.
Oh, yeah, okay, the old Montreal. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
In Old Montreal. And it's called, I forget what the museum it's called, but the museum, it's basically a tour of the...
Oh, the underground, Yeah, I just saw that the other day on the news, and I was like, "Fuck, I didn't even know that existed." That's such a cool spot to go see.
They were able to maintain some of the basement of the old building, even though there's new building built on top. They've maintained, historically.
I gotta go see that next year.
And it was in that tour that I did it with the kids. It was a field trip with the kids, and I went on the field trip, and that's what they were saying. Right above us is where Parliament used to be. So this was actually the downstairs of Parliament.
And
I'm like,
exactly,
oh my God, this is amazing. And my kids are like, this is boring. I want to leave. And I'm like, this is incredible. What are you talking about?
I don't know what it is, but I find because I was the same way too when I was in high school. I found history was not super interesting, kind of interesting, but I wasn't really so into it. But I find maybe 4 years after getting out of high school, I started traveling throughout Quebec a lot more, and I went up north a lot to work on videos, and I'd go, there was historical paths up that way, and I was like, oh, that's what we learned about in school. I find they if they find a way to make it more interesting, it's because it is super cool, man. The fact that people walk through this land, where I'm standing, hundreds of years ago, and this is their story of that time, and I find it now. I'm so interested in things like that. I don't know if it's because as you get older, you start to hold on to nostalgia a little more.
No, I guess I was like you too, like 3 or 4 years after getting out of school. That's when my real thirst for knowledge started. I think maybe, and for my children, because maybe it's a genetic thing. I think being forced to learn things makes, no matter what it is you're learning, you could be learning the secret to time travel, but because you're being forced to learn it, you're like, time travel, who's that for, Grandpa? Like, see, just because it's part of some curriculum, you already resent it, even though it could be the most fascinating thing you ever heard of.
Yeah, time travel. South Shore students would be like, well, can I just time travel to my other friend's basement and hang out there for a while? That's all the South Shore kids, just hang out in basements, man. That's cool, man. It's true. I was so interested in history after. Now I'm super interested. When I was working on 22 Minutes and I was in Halifax all the time, man, every weekend I would just drive around looking at different historical sites and like reading about it, and that's when I learned about like a lot about the French and how they were treated very crappy in especially Eastern Canada. Then also the black community with slaves coming in from the U.S. When they abolished slavery, they started just shipping them over to Halifax.
Only slightly better treatment.
Not even, man. Still horrible stuff, but they don't teach any of that in Canadian school. Like you don't learn any of those things. I didn't know we had slaves in Canada. I didn't know that they came here and like Nova Scotians were using them as slaves still. It's none of that was told. And you read it on like
Johnny McDonald was a slave owner, if I'm not
for sure.
mistaken.
Yeah, and he was like that was another thing I learned too in Kingston. He was like a huge drunk and just would like people would find him passed out in alleyways.
He would talk to his dead dog. He thought his dog's ghost was with him, and he would talk to his dead dog's ghost. Oh man,
and this is the guy that you know what I mean? Like
founding father.
It's hilarious how we put people on like pedestals sometimes, and we're so like we must obey and listen to all they've done, and you're like, yeah, but they've done some shitty things. I think it's like. I'm not saying don't respect them. I'm saying obviously don't respect that part. But I mean, what I'm saying is like. Everybody's done some shitty things, and in that time, and it was like survival. It's like either you did horrible things, and you did some good things that were progressive and made movement in the country, but almost everyone was doing also really horrible things to today's standards, which was kind of just normal in those days. So to just totally hate a person for that is like I find a little counterproductive. It's totally not progressive because you got to obviously understand like it's a different time, man. Like man. I wonder if like what's going to be the thing in like 100 years from now. People are going to be like, did you know they had, or I guess like Instagram.
Donald Trump dated. He did put reality TV on the map.
Donald Trump, for sure, man, dude. I can't believe the stuff that's going on right now, like with him alone, just is like wild. Like this guy's a psychopath. It is
incredible that when you go on the President of the United States Twitter, every single fucking post have a notice from Twitter saying this is false. These are false statements about election fraud.
It's crazy, man. And this is I tried for the last few weeks. I've been avoiding watching or listening or looking at any of his tweets. But like I just kind of glamped, like you get the news that just passed by with a story, and I see it. And I'm like, this guy is nuts. Like the stuff he says and the things that he's doing, like he's just totally.
He was sharing a bunch of videos from this network, like one of these online news network that's obviously GOP fucking slanted. That I've never even heard of though. But they're like. He's just retweeting all these segments from this.
He's a psycho. And he's definitely like, man, racist. Just crazy.
And he's got so much support still. There's still all these people that are like, this is a fraud.
America.
It's a hoax.
Dude, some of the things people say, too, about a lot of things now, it's like, I think we're getting crazy. Like, can we tone it down a little? We're getting a little wild. What's it like in Ottawa, though? Is there, I guess it's probably very quiet. There's not a lot of people on the streets.
Maybe still going less. Out? I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, the weather's getting colder. This is a big rake the leaves weekend. It's a little mild today, so people might be working outside. But there's people for sure. Like there was a couple of stores when I went. So we were. You don't know this because who knows when we'll post it. But we were late starting the podcast because I brought all my equipment to Ottawa, but I forgot to bring a memory card, so
that happens.
I had to shoot out to get a memory card, and there was like 3 stores that I passed on my way there that there was a lineup outside because you're only allowed 8 people inside at a time.
Right.
So there was an art and craft store that had a lineup of people waiting to get in, the librairie, the bookshop, and that had people waiting to go in.
Yeah.
So no, it's cool. It's weird. I mean, we're only allowed 50 people at the shows.
Yeah.
And with social distancing, I mean, to get to 50 and socially distance safely, I think we need to have mostly tables of 4.
Okay.
Right? So 4 people living in the same household. It's down. You're not going to get to there. So I think last night and tonight we sold out at 46 or 47.
Okay.
Because of the way that the table are, if we want to have people at a safe distance everywhere, we can't quite get to 50 just based on the geography of the room.
Yeah.
But I find people have been very in Ottawa more so than when I did the shows in Vancouver and Edmonton.
Yeah.
People after the show are like, "Oh, thank you so much for coming to do this. You know, this is we really need a laugh at this time." And I'm like, "Wow, well, thank you for coming because." I was about to murder my children if I didn't get on stage soon. But people are really like the people that are the type of person that will brave whatever or just say la merde. It's that basically are reasonable people that know that if I'm cautious, I shouldn't get it, and if I do get it, I'm probably not gonna die. And if I'm going to die, well, I'm going to fucking, I find people are not being reasonable. There's people that are so extreme on there's these ones that are, it's a hoax. It's not even real.
Yeah.
Right up until the point where they fucking die of the thing. Did you see those people? Like Chicoutimi or something like that?
Yeah. No, I didn't see the ones in Chicoutimi.
They're in the hospital saying that's not why I'm sick. It's a bullshit. And then dead.
Yeah, I saw. Well, there was a video that went viral in the States about a nurse somewhere. I can't remember where in the States that she said the exact same thing. She goes, "I'm telling people that they're this sick and they have to be put on a ventilator because they have COVID, and they're still looking at me going, it's impossible. It's not real." That's what they're so it's like, what do you? Like you're saying, it's crazy. It's like it's either one way or the other, and I find the people that are not fucking just listening to just follow guidelines are just making this thing drag on forever, and we're never going to get back to work because we're all going to, like us, I'm saying, everyone else, I feel like a lot of other people are.
Everyone else has found a way to work.
We're the only, comedians and entertainers and musicians. Everyone, we're all fucking and people that run venues and
waitresses
bookers,
and waiters,
waitresses, people that are working in the restaurant. It's just like, man, if you don't stop, and then the worst part is people that work in those industries and then are still not following the guidelines, and they're like going out and partying with their friends or going to different traveling, and you're like, dude. You can't work. Doesn't that bother you that you can't work because this thing is just dragging on?
Yeah.
And fucking nobody's to me, I just get annoyed. That's why I've just started focusing more on the online stuff and videos and just doing that rather than even stand up because it's like, fuck, nobody's listening. So we're never going to get to that point unless there's a vaccine and it starts to diminish the numbers with a vaccine.
Remember I was trying to get you to come to the Sudbury thing, and I'm like, come on, man. And you're like, nah, it's just going to get canceled, and I'm going to be disappointed, and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, man, they're in the green zone. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, you're
they got downgraded to the yellow zone 2 days ago, and the shows are canceled.
There you go. See? Told you, man. I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. It's like we're all holding on. I feel like as comedians, entertainers, even I see these, people we know who promote or shows or who are in the business of booking shows. And they're super look, we got Live Nation announced they're going to start doing this now. This is a great step forward for. And I'm like, no, it's not. None of that shit is going to work, guys. I love the optimism, but could we just be realistic and look at what's really happening and how people are what the trend is going and just understand it's not going to fucking work, man, unless they come up with a rapid test that's super accurate. That you can just test somebody right away as soon as they come into your venue, you know that they're safe, then for sure, then that's going to change everything.
Like one of those Star Trek scanners, whatever. Nope, you're COVID free, but you might want to check into that chlamydia.
Something odd here. I don't know. But yeah, so it's just stop with the optimism. Let's just fucking be realistic for once.
Fucking,
realistic.
That is the most Abdul statement I have ever heard. Fuck, stop with the optimism already.
Just be realistic, man. Why are we trying to fight it all the time? I don't get it. I hate it's like believing in the secret,
dude.
you know?
It sucks.
I know, but just be realistic and then it won't suck as much. If you keep trying to book shows and like in the middle of winter when we all know the numbers are going to keep going up and you're like trying to book, you're like, all right, I got my whole calendar full. Dude, that's going to crush your heart when like you're a month away or not even like a week away and then all your shows get canceled and you're like, fuck. You know?
Well,
just focus on something that's not going to, not going to get canceled in any way and try and build that, you know? I think there's a new we just have to find new ways of doing everything we've been doing. And it's going to suck for a few years. I mean, this is our generation's bullshit that we have to go through.
Yeah.
We went through wars. You know, we didn't go through
right.
any
We're
real
still very
war.
Lucky. I still feel very lucky.
Yeah, man.
It's you're right though. It's just I find a lot of people, most people I know, are dealing with this in a reasonable fashion. It's those that are careless, ignorant, and what causes people to believe certain things over another. Like it's there's even my own children who are young and at least they have the naivete and lack of life experience as an excuse to believe things. Like Andy came out the other day and said something like one of the teacher is like a pedophile, and I'm like, okay, if there was any fucking, you don't go. I'm like, you can't fucking say that. And she said, oh well, my friend fucking told me she heard it from her sister, who First of all, if there was any even hint of that kind of behavior from a teacher, I could tell you they wouldn't be teaching there. The commission scolaire isn't the fucking Catholic Church. They're not gonna just relocate the guy.
I wonder how it works in Canada. Don't be
throwing shit like that around. See?
Yeah. But I wonder how it works in Canada, because I think in the States they can get away with that because they don't share information. So I feel like if you go to a new state, they'll do a background check within the state, but you just move there, so there's nothing on your file. So you might be able to get away with it.
I think there's sex offenders there's a national registry.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I'm not even talking about that part. I mean, I know the guy that she's talking about. It's whatever. He dates young girls. That's not a crime, right? He's 45 and his girlfriend is like 27. But okay, some people find it inappropriate. I'm like, from my perspective, I'm like, you fucking lucky bastard.
Man.
Sadly, I made myself a rule that I can never date anybody that the écart of age from her to me is bigger than from Jamie to her. So Jamie to her is 7 years, and from her to me is 20 years. So I'm not allowed. That's like
that's your rule. You would go with that rule. I'm gonna fucking.
I guess
hold
when
you
Jamie hit
against
30, though, I can get rid of that rule, right? I can.
Yeah, well, I think once your kids are of age, once they're all adults, especially her, she's already 21.
What would you think of me if I was dating a 25-year-old right now?
I wouldn't care as long as she wasn't annoying. Fuck.
Well, what are the chances of finding a 25-year-old that's not annoying?
There's some pretty mature 20-year-olds out there.
You're right. I shouldn't be saying that because Jamie, I find she's super interesting. She's fun to talk to. She has zero life ambition, but she's still a smart, fun person.
Like a buddy of mine's, his younger brother is like way younger than him, and he's dating this chick. She's like 22 or something, and like we're all hanging out and we're talking, and she's just so much. Like, I was like, wow, I'm like, you're fucking really smart for your age. Like, normally it's like 20, like, oh, let's get out of here and go to this fucking dance or something. Yeah. But, it's like, they're not as, they're always into fucking baby shit, like childish thing. But there are young, mature, and I wouldn't mind. But, dude, you've dated some fucking annoying 30 or 40-year-olds. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Get out of here.
What? When? Really?
No, I'm not saying it on the podcast.
You don't have to name drop or anything. I've only... Anyway.
No, I'm just bugging you. Fuck. But if she was annoying as shit. No, Angela's fucking great. She's very mature. Way more mature than you, that's for sure. Fucking way more mature. But yeah, if you got an annoying fucking,
we should plug Angela's new business too. Images by Angela. You can go on Images by Angela on Instagram. She's got a beautiful catalog of original artwork, whatever, photographs, and that she's made a whole line of greeting cards. So there's Christmas ones. There's like, she even made cards for people, like sympathy cards for somebody's pet that passed away. She's got a card for every occasion, which is very true to her personality. She's always been a card person, and now she's made a whole line of her own. She does enlargements too, like if you want to put a piece of art on your wall. One that's popular right now, she's got a beautiful photo of Montreal skyline at night.
Cool.
Quite beautiful. My friend Hassan, you met my friend Hassan Alam that live here in Ottawa?
I think so. I think I've met him.
He's the foodie, my foodie friend from Ottawa.
Okay. Did he come to when we were hanging out at
with the Dragon Den guy? Yeah.
He came and hung out. I think I met him. Yeah.
So anyway,
What's the name of that restaurant? Lotus or something? What's the name of the restaurant?
Datsun.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Datsun. Yeah. So
anyway, he bought one. He bought like I think it's 18 by 24. And
cool.
She framed it up for him and everything. Yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah, that's imagesbyangela.ca.com.
It's images_by_Angela on Instagram.
Okay.
We bought imagesbyangela.ca, but there's no website on it yet.
Okay, all right.
So everything's being done right now through e-transfer and like checking things on Instagram. And
cool.
then
and does
once
she
you
have
make contact, she'll email you photos that you could choose from and stuff.
Okay, she's not doing like what is it, like Shopify or one of those Etsy.
She was on Etsy,
and
it's and she was on another thing that cost like $8 a month, and
it gets pricey.
She wasn't getting traffic. She didn't understand like. It's got to be, she's not super technically minded. So that's the other thing. She also is garbage at Photoshop. So every photo that you're getting is not a Photoshopped. It's an original.
It's a real, and she takes pretty good pictures, man.
Yeah, she does. She takes great pictures.
Especially that night shot from the bridge. If it's the one I think she posted once on Instagram, she takes
that's the one that Hassan bought. Yeah.
Yeah, she takes some nice pictures, man. I was impressed when I saw that shot. I was like, I got to tell Angela, man, that was a great picture, that night shot. And it's hard to take night shots. It's not as easy as people think. So
she's patient with it. She changes the exposure, each one to find the right, ISO. I don't even know how any of it works. Anyway, she's quite talented.
It's very complicated.
So it's images_by_Angela on Instagram and imagesbyangela@hotmail.ca.
Yeah, and you've got
hotmail.com.
Is your new album the second wave out or not yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so you got the first wave.
I haven't tracked it out yet. Yeah, I'm still on the first wave.
The first wave. You got to get on the second wave, buddy. It's hitting right now.
But maybe the next one will be Panderic, Vaccinate This.
But that's, you've got your album too, man, out there, and
you've got your EP that you put out.
Yeah, we're all trying to sell some shit. We should also get an Etsy account.
Yeah.
Fucking you, me, and Angela, man.
My website was already set up to sell shit, so I'm selling
that's
t-shirts
good.
through there and all 3 of the albums, and make my CDs make a great Christmas gift for an adult on your Christmas list.
Yeah, and you actually
people have already
the
started.
CDs.
Actually, I got a few orders over the last couple of days of people buying all 3 albums. One person bought 2 of each album.
Cool, yeah, because they like to give it away, and you got the
taking
CDs.
care of all their Christmas shopping on one-stop shop at DerekSege.com.
DerekSege.com with the.
Did you submit for the Junos finally?
I didn't submit. I was. You know what? I don't know. You know me. I'm not a positive person. I'm not a positive person. I go, fuck that. Do you have to pay? You have to pay, right, for it?
Just for laughs, actually. Just for laughs, as we should, as much as we complained when we felt they were trying to take from us with the Sirius XM,
cover the
they
fee?
Subsidize. So any comedian that wants to submit, the Just for Laughs pays the $50 entry fee.
Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah. I didn't know. But yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't submit it. I just I'm going independent, man. I'm going all independent. Just throwing it up.
I'm independent too, but I mean, the Juno. I submitted 43.0.
Yeah.
And it was the year I believe K-Trev won that year, the Juno.
Yes.
But I spoke to there's a panel, right? You register as a
Hedge
voting
was up for it
member.
too,
Yeah. Ivan Decker. I think Ivan Decker might have won one. Anyway, I spoke to 3 different panelists, like the people that are, like they get sent 50 CDs to listen to be a voting member of the, and all three of them mine never got to them. So either I fucked up in the uploading or whatever, the whole process of submitting yourself,
or you're not what they're looking for, buddy. Maybe you're not what they're looking for.
Well, what gatekeeper would be allowed to charge that? At least it's gonna be, you could let the panel,
your address says decide. Montreal, man. It doesn't say Toronto. Your address doesn't say Toronto, buddy.
But David Pride was nominated for one, so that
David Pride was nominated for one.
For one, yeah. At some point, yeah.
Very fucking. I'd be very surprised, man. David Pride deserves a fucking. Out of all the joke writers in this country, David Pride is by far like one of the top joke writers in this country.
He's pretty
there is
prolific,
no fucking.
for sure.
When you come to joke writing, man, smart jokes, that guy is fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah, he's gotten darker too over the last couple of
years. I love it, man.
Not darker, but edgier.
No, but like
he's jokes and
he's letting his fucking frustrations out on the stage. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I think he had something to do. I think someone, I can't remember the story. Someone lost
when
their
they
shit
set
at
the
the
fucking
Comedy
club
Nest
on fire.
Him. Yeah, it was because of David Pride, right? Did we talk about this on the podcast?
We talked about the fire, but I don't know if we talked about that. But yeah, apparently the guy who ended up pyromaniacking the fucking Comedy Nest had stormed out during a David Pride set. And I forget what the joke was about. Something like, what was it? Student protest or something like that? I don't remember.
I can't remember, what it was, and I don't want to make up something, but yeah, we should find out. When I heard that, I'm like, that's hilarious. That's how good of a joke writer he is, that it could touch a nerve with somebody, but he's
so bad. Yeah,
he's so funny, man. He's so good.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, he deserves it. But yeah, all those things, man. When you see everything in show business in Canada, it's like Toronto just takes everything, and it's getting annoying. But what I like about COVID is I don't care. It's like everybody's off the, like, oh, what, the Junos? Yeah, great. Who's going to watch the Junos? Nobody gives a shit anymore. Like, it's what you're doing.
On TV? Is it on TV?
It used to. Not the comedy part. No, the comedy, they swept that one under the fucking rug.
It's a half an hour show, and then these are some of the awards we awarded before the thing, and it's just like all the awards.
They'll save it for The Weeknd and Justin Bieber and all the fucking big names in America. Yeah. That's what they'll want to focus on with the Junos, but then Canada's like, they don't really care about the Canadian entertainment as much. There's nothing to shine about. Look how excited everyone is about Schitt's Creek. It's been on TV in Canada for 6 years, and now because it fucking won some Emmys, everyone's like, oh my God, I gotta watch Schitt's Creek.
We're so proud, yeah.
Schitt's Creek, they won the Emmys. But yeah, anyways, that's the way it is in Canada. That's why I don't care anymore. I'm just doing it because you know what? That's what Americans do. We look at America like they're so great at the entertainment thing, but all it is they don't give a fuck. They don't look at they're not like, oh man, look at Australia. They're doing such progressive things with comedy. They're just like, I'm the fucking best, and that's it. And they don't give a shit. And that's why we're all like, man, we should really watch their shit. Like they're really confident of like how good their stuff is. Maybe they are the best.
Well, Quebec,
but man,
Quebec
we've got some
certainly.
Great.
The producer types, they certainly scope around the earth to see what is good at good television, and then they just copy those ideas and make it Quebecois.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what everyone does. I mean, in business, I was watching was it not Dragon's Den? What's the other Shark Tank the other night, and there was a lady that said the same thing too. She goes, "Well, my brother and I, we were trekking across, like they came out with this company and they were like, we were trekking across Asia and we were in Thailand and we saw this thing and we thought, oh, that would be great. And they're like, didn't you just steal that idea then? Like, it's not your idea. You just saw it working in another country far away from America. So you just brought that idea there and now you're rich because you sell it at Home Depot. So it's like, but that's what it's like. People travel the world looking for other people's ideas, come back. Oh, that would work great in our country. And then they just create it here and they make a ton of money. Americans have been doing that for a long time. They go around, look at what other countries are doing, and then they bring it back and look at all those shows. Britain's pretty progressive with comedies, man. You watch like some of their comedy shows and stuff that's on like the BBC and you're like, man, they swear and they're super funny and they say like whatever they want. Nobody's censoring everything that they say, and then Americans take it and they're like, oh, it's working great, and they switch it up and then they make their version.
Let's
like The Office and
a little bit,
all those shows. They just they make it more. Instead of saying fucking Heathrow, they say fucking
right, JFK.
JFK, yeah, you know. So
also, I think what I kind of appreciate about Britain is that the creators are very much. They seem to be much more in control than in, like, say, in America.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Like,
yeah,
you know, a guy like Ricky Gervais can do whatever he wants at this point.
Yeah.
But, you know, go lesser than him, or the first time that he did something.
Yeah.
They don't do it until the network cancels it, right? They do it. This is the story I wanted to tell. Now I'm done, and we stop.
Yeah.
Right? If that's 10 episodes, fine. If it's 12, it's 12. If it's 8, it's 8.
They don't try to drag it on forever because it's making
as long
a ton
as it's
of
getting
money.
viewers, we're making it. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
it tends to lose things, which is why shows like Seinfeld that were really good until the very end.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? And Seinfeld too. He left while he was on
They
top
decided to,
because he was like, we got nothing else. You know, like we were already forcing it. And it ended up being good, but it got to be more and more hard work and kind of, forced. Comedy shouldn't be forced.
Yeah, no. And you should be passionate about it. So if you're not, then just walk away, because then it's going to start sucking. You got to be, you know, excited
like
about it.
Being told a format as an artist. Imagine like you're an artist and being told, like a sculptor, you've got this much clay. You're only allowed to use this much clay.
Yeah. That's the hardest thing.
A painter, here you got 6 colors. Use these 6 colors. You know, to make like the BBC shows. Sometimes they're 26-minute episodes. Sometimes it's 37-minute. Like I don't know how they fit that onto television programming.
Yeah.
But in America, it's 22 minutes per half hour.
Yeah.
And it's 13 episodes, and it's a very strict parameter to have to build your, even more so for a drama. Like dramas that have a full arc throughout the whole season. I think that's why the networks are tanking, right? There's so much more liberty for creativity in places like HBO and Showtime and Netflix.
Yeah, it's a
Netflix
great point.
Where there's no time, no censorship, no nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great point, because they definitely feel, and that's what it feels like when you go to the States, like in LA. It just feels like everything is like already in this formula. Like even like the rankings of how you get into clubs and what you got to do and how you get booked, and like everything feels like it's created in this formula already, which it is, and you just have to go through those rankings of that formula to get to wherever it's unless you do something and it goes viral on the internet and it's like huge, then they'll just grab you right away. They're like, fuck, this guy's already famous, let's grab him. But otherwise you can feel and see the progression of like, okay, well, this person who's just starting got signed by this by this company that represents a huge name, and then they'll mold them and they'll fucking put them along with all the others, and you'll see them getting bigger and bigger, and they build their brand, they build them as a personality and as an entertainer. Not like Canada, of course, because we don't have funding, we don't have money, we don't have anything. There's no fucking, they don't create even Canadian comedy or entertainment TV shows. It's apart from the CBC. I think Sandra was saying that on the town hall for Canadian, for Cask. She was saying that the other day about like how I think it's only CBC that's producing Canadian comedy right now. Nobody else is doing
Creek
it.
CBC? I thought Schitt's Creek
CBC?
was a Bell property.
Nope, CBC.
No?
Yeah,
okay.
CBC. And I think it's like, I don't know the logistics fully, but I think it's like CBC, but sort of not CBC.
CBC probably with Eugene Levy's production company
with his like half kind of thing, and they did it. But yeah, no, I mean, all props to them doing great and everything. But I think Canada has some great shit, man. We just fucking need to push it more.
Hey, let me ask you: Have you paid your dues for the Cask?
I have, yeah. I think they just took it off my credit card without even asking me. I just saw a fee or something. I think I saw a bill go through.
$50.
That was like, it was like in the middle of the summer or something, I think.
I don't know how many comedians listen to the podcast, but I would encourage every
if you
Canadian
can pay it.
comedian, improviser, sketch artist to support
I just paid my Writers Guild.
Did
support
you?
it. Yeah, it took. They keep sending me emails. I was like, I'm not fucking writing anything. You're not getting shit.
I've opted out of every Writers Guild contract I've had. I've always opted out. So
Really?
I think if ever I join, I assume they keep that in escrow somewhere, that because they've withheld, thousands of dollars over the years in Writers Guild, sort of, toward the pension and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I should have thousands of dollars sitting there.
But does that, if you got, I don't know, you should look into it, man. Because, even like with ACTRA, like I got a nice little chunk of retirement from that I just saw the other day, and I was like, ooh, nice. That's
I'm up to like 30,000 in ACTRA.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So that's cool, man.
And I've got like 700 in UDEA.
Really? Oh, that's the French union, right?
Yeah, and the way it worked though, like they.
How come the French union's so shit?
You need 30 credits. First of all, you need ACTRA.
Yeah.
Remember, ACTRA, like you as a visible minority, you only need 3 credits to get into ACTRA.
Yeah.
Regular people need 6, I think.
Regular people.
That's terrible. The regular.
You mean the whites who get booked for everything? Yeah, of course.
And I think now
6.
it's even been lowered. I think it may be 3 for everybody now. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it's lower now. I think it's
UDEA was 30. So the first 30 credit, I finally got my 30 credit like 3 years ago, and then I've basically done no French work since then. So I really, not none, but like I have $600 in there because all the thing that they withhold before you get your full membership.
Yeah.
They put it in the main pot. They don't hold it for you. So maybe that's if Writers Guild did that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I just pay it because I'm like, I guess I get gigs at a Writers Guild, so I'll support and I'll keep doing it because they pay you a little bit better. But it's not that much better than like.
And it's like $570 or something, right? When you first open when you start your Writers
maybe,
Guild thing?
I don't remember, man. It was like, fuck, I think I've been a member for like 8 years now.
Okay.
But I think, I know every year, and by the way, thank you very much, Writers Guild. This is the first year they chose to raise the fee this year, as opposed to, like everybody else is lowering the fee. The Writers Guild of Canada has raised it $25. I think it's $175 now.
Really?
It's $150, a year, and now they raised it to $175. I think ACTRA was like, "Hey, we lowered it to help you out in case you can't afford to pay."
It was an optional lower.
Yeah, they're like, in case you can't afford, and you go to the Writers Guild, and I keep getting emails from the Writers Guild, like, "Hey, are you gonna pay us? Like, you're supposed to." It's like due in like April, and I just paid it last week. But I'm like, what are you gonna do? I'll give it to you. Just stop it. Fuck. Like, what do you want?
That's all. You should reply to that email, and just
you'll get it.
Write a super well written letter to them to show how good of a writer you are.
Yeah. As I sit here on this bench in Montreal, the leaves are ruffling,
gazing out at the mesmerizing colors that is to be known as dusk. It inspires me to notify you that. You can go fuck yourself.
That's funny. Yeah, fuck. I should have wrote them a nice letter with a fucking nice ink, a nice plume.
Calligraphy.
One of those ink letters and nice paper.
On parchment paper. Tied together with a ribbon.
Dearest Writers Guild of Canada.
Those wax seals, like a fucking wax stamp on it.
Oh, man. Fucking Writers Guild.
That'd be fun.
All right, buddy. We're going to do the picks. We're at the end of this.
All right. Let's do it.
End of the roll. Let's do the picks, baby.
I got to say, I kind of blew the Thursday night game. I really thought the Cardinals were underdogs, but I thought with 3 points they would have had enough, and they lost 28-21. I knew it was going to be a high-scoring game, but it wasn't quite. I said over 46, I think, and it got to 49. But anyway. So it blew that one. Hopefully that's my one fuck up for the week.
Anyway, let's not dwell on that. Let's move on.
Undefeated Steelers at Jacksonville Jaguars. I definitely, I think the Steelers are gonna cruise a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Ben Roethlisberger doesn't even finish this game because they're sitting there 9-0. Let's keep everybody healthy, right? So they might have some second stringers playing, but I still think the Steelers are gonna walk out of there with that one. So Steelers over the Jaguars. Panthers, Lions. Christian McCaffrey is still back to the best of my knowledge. I think the Panthers are going to handle the Lions. Patriots, Texans. Now, the Patriots team this year, I can't figure them out. Some weeks they look like the fuck garbage, and then other weeks, last week they looked really good. So I got to say, The Texans have not been lucky this year. They've lost a few close ones. Bill Belichick, if it's close, he'll find a way to beat you. So I'm going to go Patriots over Texans. Baltimore Ravens last week in the cold and rain looked like shit. They got handled by the Patriots, actually. I couldn't believe it. And the Titans are a strong team. I think they're at home. They're in Baltimore. It could very well be cold again. I don't know if this team is, they have trouble with the cold. I can't help but think the Ravens are not going to let themselves lose 2 weeks in a row. So I'm going to go Ravens over the Titans. Eagles Browns. I mean, the Eagles could play fucking a girls' football team at this point, I think, and still lose. They're so fucking bad. So I'm going Browns for sure on that one, even though Odell Beckham is out for the season. I think the Browns have enough weapons to win that one. Saints Falcons. Now, Drew Brees got hurt. This is the first time that he's going to miss a start, I think, in 10 years. It's very sad. He busted up some ribs, had a punctured lung and shit. But I think the Saints have enough weapons. And again, the Falcons have been putting up huge scoring games, but somehow their defense they still end up losing. They've been ahead like 20 points twice this year and lost the game. So I think the Saints, and my guy, Taysom Hill, is the multi-utility guy for New Orleans. I don't know if you've ever seen him.
No.
He's quarterback, he's running back, he covers kicks. He does everything. He
All
literally
around.
does everything. He plays fullback, he plays tailback, he plays slot back, he plays tight end, quarterback. So I think, from what I've heard, he's starting the game because they have Jameis Winston as Drew Brees' specific backup. But apparently they're going to give Taysom Hill the start. I think it's going to be definitely super fun to watch.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun game to watch. I was just about to say that. That must be really fun to watch.
I predict a high-scoring game, but because Taysom Hill has Drew Brees passes, I think 4 out of 5 plays. Taysom Hill they have a bunch of plays. Even when Drew Brees is playing, they have a bunch of plays designed for Taysom Hill. So Drew Brees will line up as a receiver while Taysom Hill takes the snap.
Wow.
And when he does it, 8 out of 9 times, he runs with the ball, right? And he runs he's strong. He's like 6'2", 245 pounds, and fucking tough. Like he's always good for 2 or 3 yards, but 8 out of 9 times. But he's also a quarterback. So now you run 8 times. You run this play.
Yeah.
The defense thinks he's gonna run again, and then just boop, fucking touchdown. Like it's.
I hope he's getting a good paycheck, man. That's a good asset to have on your team.
Yeah, he's only 3 or 4 years into the league. I think he's still on a rookie contract, so he may be making less than $1 million. Anyway, It's fucking. I'm super excited to watch that game. I think it's going to be high scoring, but I'm going to go Saints just because I love the Saints and I love this guy, Taysom Hill.
Cool.
Bengals, Washington. Washington, it's been a sad story. They've really had a garbage season so far. Alex Smith, who really had a terrible injury last year, it's nice to see him back playing. He's a good guy, good quarterback. But I feel like the Bengals are gonna play this one. They're gonna play this one hard. They've got the Heisman Trophy winner last year, Joe Burrow, as their quarterback. I'm gonna go Bengals over Washington, and they're the underdog, but I think the Bengals are gonna pull something magical out of this one. Chargers versus the Jets at the Chargers. The Jets are really garbage. The Chargers are up and coming. They've got a young, hungry quarterback, fucking giant too. He's like 6'6", young guy, great arm. Not super precise yet. Hopefully that'll come for him. But I think the Chargers over the Jets. Dolphins Broncos. The Dolphins have been playing some fucking great football, man. I'm gonna go Dolphins over the Broncos, even though they're playing in Denver. Vikings, Cowboys. Cowboys, what can you say? I feel so bad for them. They've had some really terrible injuries, including their star quarterback. Minnesota Vikings have been playing fantastic. I'm going to go Vikings pretty easily over the Cowboys there. Packers, Colts. Colts are the favorite in this game. It's in Indianapolis. Maybe that's why. I really do not like Phillip Rivers. He's a little fucking baby lala. I love Aaron Rodgers. And I'm going, even though they're the underdog, I'm going Packers over the Colts. And that's one I'm going to bet because the odds are really good too. Chiefs, Raiders. Now the Raiders, I think, are responsible for the Chiefs' only loss this season. That's right. They only lost one game, and it was to these Las Vegas Raiders at home. Now they're playing in Las Vegas against the same team. I think Patrick Mahomes and company are coming out fucking pissed off. John Gruden, great coach. It's a really good Raiders team. I can't help but think that the Chiefs are going to win this game. But I predict over 50 points scored in this game. So I take the Chiefs over the Raiders. And then on Monday night, the Buccaneers are hosting the LA Rams. The Buccaneers are very heavy favorite, 2-1 favorites. That's only 4 points, but I'm surprised. But I do think the Bucs are going to win this game, and probably, handily as well. And if the Rams defense can't stop Tom Brady, there's going to be at least, I predict that Tom Brady will throw for 4 touchdowns. So the Bucs over the Rams is where I'm going.
All right,
and that's it, everybody.
That's it.
Good luck. If you make some money with that is great. If you don't, it's not my fucking fault. I suck at this.
All right, man. Good chatting. Good podcast. Good day.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
sorry for the delay off the top.
That's
Abdul.
all right,
It seems
man.
like
We've
I've always got some technical difficulty too.
We fixed it though, man. We figured it out quick and made it happen. So that's good, man. We're all right. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, man. Hope everyone's having a good week. Good weekend. Yeah. Be safe, everybody. Be kind to each other if you can. And try to be a little bit more optimistic than fucking Abdul Butt.
Stay negative, everybody. Stay negative. Take care.
All right. Peace out. See you, everybody.